In this video, we'll be reviewing set number 10333, and that is Lord of the Rings Barad Dur. It is an 18 plus icon set with 5,471 pieces with a whopping 10 minifigs coming in at $459.99. After opening the box, you're greeted with 40 bags. Yep, you heard me correct, 40 bags, which 19 of those are dedicated to just building the base of the tower, which is impressive. You're also going to be receiving a sticker sheet, but don't worry about it. These stickers are very detailed, so I'm okay with that. You're also going to be receiving 3 manuals, and the reason why you're getting 3 manuals is this set can be broken up into 3 separate pieces, making it easy for you to move because this is a very large set. And once we get into the details of the set itself, I'll show you how big this tower is. Now that we've gotten the box opening experience out of the way and what you'll be receiving with this set, let's take a detailed look at the 10 minifigs you're going to be getting with this build. Shout out to my skeleton minifigs out there. I'm not exactly sure why LEGO decided not to go ahead and include this skeleton minifig in the overall number of minifigs that you're going to be getting in this set, but he sure does come in there and didn't get any love. So let me go ahead and correct that real quick. Hey, in my opinion, skeleton minifigs are minifigs too. The first minifig that we're going to be taking a look at is Golem. Now, the only printing that Golem has is going to be located on his head. He has a very detailed face printing as well as some printing on the back of his head. Now, the difference between Golem and the rest of the minifigs in this set is Golem is almost one full piece. His head is attached to his body is attached to his legs, and you don't have any movement in there at all. The only place where you can have some movement is going to be his arms. But overall, great minifig. The next minifig that we're going to be taking a look at, and by the way, I'm probably going to be saying that a lot, so excuse me for that, but the next minifig that we're going to be taking a look at is Samwise Gamgee. Now, Samwise Gamgee does come with a sword as well as a vial, and I'm wondering if that's supposed to be the Vial of Galadriel, which was indeed given to Frodo, but I'm guessing maybe they gave it to Sam just to give him another accessory. Now, he does have dual molded legs as well as very nice front torso printing as well as back torso printing. The hair is very detailed and I really like that bright orange. He also comes with 2 face printing. So this is face printing number 1 and face printing number 2. Yes, very nice Samwise Gamgee minifig. Next up, the one and only Frodo Baggins. Let's just take a couple of seconds to admire the ring. Oh, it's so bright, shiny, and gold. It's fantastic. Now, just like Samwise Gamgee, he does come with dual molded legs, as well as very nice and detailed front torso printing, as well as back torso printing. The hair, again, is very detailed, and it's a nice, dark, rich chocolate color, which is perfect. It also comes with 2 faces. So this is face number 1. He's happy. He's in the Shire. Yay! And then face number 2, he finally has the ring, and now he has to go and destroy it. That face is perfect. It just makes me chuckle every single time. A perfect Frodo. The next minifig we're going to be taking a look at is Gothmog. Now, if you're not familiar with who Gothmog was in Lord of the Rings, I'm going to go ahead and throw a picture on the screen from the Lord of the Rings movies of who Gothmog was. Yeah, only a face a mother could love. Now, Gothmog does come with your standard orc sword, as well as a very nicely printed, detailed chest plate. Just look at how nice that is. Now, to see the rest of the printing, we're going to have to go ahead and take that chest plate off, so let's go ahead and do that. So as you can see, he has very detailed printing on his legs, as well as the front and also back torso printing. And I like that they added the 2 different color sleeves because it does represent how Gothmog looked in the movies, which was pretty sweet. Now, Gothmog only has 1 face printing because the back of his head only has some designs to kind of show you, well, what a orc who has seen a lot of battles, face and head would look like. Yes, a very nicely detailed Gothmog. The next minifig we're going to be talking about here is the Chef Orc. Now, the reason I'm calling him the Chef Orc is, well, it's pretty self-explanatory. He has a tongue-like contraption with a sausage or a hot dog at the end of it, and he also has a bandana. Look, if you're cooking over an open flame, you're going to sweat, and no orc wants sweat in their food, so the bandana makes a ton of sense. He has leg printing, as well as very detailed front and also back torso printing. This orc does come with two faces as well. Here's face number 1 and face number 2. Hey, orcs have to eat, so it makes a ton of sense why they got a chef orc. Next up, we have a smithing orc, and the reason I call him the smithing orc as well, he does come with a hammer, as well as a tongue-like contraption and a basic orc sword, and when placing him into the bottom of the tower, he is next to an anvil and an open flame, so he is currently making some weapons for the orc army. He has very detailed leg printing, as well as front and also back torso printing. He also comes with two face printings. Here's face number 1 and face number 2. The hair has some very nice detail, and with those big old green ears popping out, it just makes me chuckle every single time I see it. But yes, very nice minifig. The next minifig we're going to be taking a look at is what I'm going to be calling Smithing Orc number 2. And the reason to this is when placing him into the bottom of the tower, he's actually sitting really close to a grinding stone, and you can see that he is sharpening the weapons for the orc army. He comes with very detailed leg printing, as well as front and also back torso printing. He does have a standard orc sword, as well as a orc helmet, which is very nicely designed. He does also come with two face printing. So here's printing number 1 and printing number 2. Yes, another very nice detailed minifig. Next up, we're going to be talking about our Battle Ready Orc, which comes with a very cool accessory, and that is going to be the Orc Shield. Taking a closer look at the shield, it has some really cool printing of some battle scars and battle wear. This is so cool. I kind of want to buy a bunch of them. Now, he also comes with a standard Orc sword, has very nice leg printing, as well as front and back torso printing. He does come with the hairpiece that we've seen before with the big ol' orc ears, which again just makes me chuckle. He does have two face printings, so here's printing number 1 and printing number 2. Again, a really good minifig. The Mouth of Sauron. Oh, this is such a nice minifig. So it does come with a sword. It has very detailed leg printing, as well as front and back torso printing. He also comes with a cape that is made out of a little bit of a harder material than the cloth ones that we've seen in the past. Now, he does only come with one face printing, which is super detailed and looks like the Mouth of Sauron, whereas in the back of the minifig's head, it just has a little bit of a design. I'm guessing it's supposed to kind of show the wear and tear of what it took to become a demented creature like the Mouth of Sauron. Now, we do need to take a second and talk about the helmet, because that's very important. It's made out of a different material than most of the other helmets in the past have been made out of. Now, it is kind of a rubbery material, but don't get it wrong. You can move this thing and squish it and kind of move it around, but it doesn't have an issue holding its original shape. And I'm wondering the reason why maybe Lego went this direction is because it is so detailed. There are so many different design features to this helmet that I'm wondering if it was maybe difficult to kind of make it out of full plastic, and that's the reason why they kind of decided to go with this almost rubbery like material. But I'm okay with it. If we get more things like this in the future that are that as detailed as this helmet is, I'm all for it. So there we have the Mouth of Sauron. Such a great minifig. So well done. I'm so happy to own him. Now, last but certainly not least is Sauron himself. Just take a look at how glorious that minifig looks. Now, I for one do not want to be hit in the head with that gigantic mace that they gave him, but it is so fitting. He comes with very detailed leg printing, as well as front and back torso printing. He also has a cape, but this cape is the cloth-like material, and I'm guessing it's probably just easier for you to fit that shoulder pad / helmet over the minifig's head. He only has one face printing, but look at that. It's literally fire. It's literally made of fire. That is so nicely detailed. Ugh, just glorious. Now, let's go ahead and talk about the shoulder pad slash helmet that this minifig comes with. It is also made out of that rubbery material, but you can see there that it's very detailed. And again, I'm wondering if the reason why they went this direction was because they were able to get more details out of this rubbery like material, and they just did a really good job with it. So I'm totally in for it and I'm cool with it. So yes, Sauron, an amazing minifig to go along with a fantastic build. Okay, so now that we've taken a in-depth and detailed look at all of the minifigs that come in this set, it is now time to take a look at the full build of the tower. I cannot wait to show you all of the elements that bring this fantastic build together. First, let's talk about the mini build that is provided with this set. Now, this scene is very significant to the books and the movies, where Frodo and Sam have traveled to go and destroy the rings in Mount Doom in the fiery pits of Mordor. Now, as Frodo is about to throw the ring, or deciding whether he's going to throw the ring into those lava pits, well, Gollum shows up to then try to reclaim the ring because that is his precious. Now, I was going to do the whole precious voice, but I decided not to because it'd be super cringe and terrible. But anyways, I think this is very cool that they included this into the set. I would probably put this into like a little case with all three of the figures there to display it, because it's a very significant scene in the books and the movies. So yeah, very cool that they included this. The first thing that stood out to me when seeing the full build at the Lego store when I went to go and make my purchase was the exceptional rock work that was done in a variety of different colors and a variety of different sloped Lego elements. Whether that was going to be the dark bluish gray or the light gray or nougat or tan, it's done in such a way that just creates a visual harmony. And again, I know this is Lego, but it looks realistic and it's just fantastically done. Another aspect of this build that I thought they did a fantastic job on is the representation of lava flowing throughout or underneath the tower. It is so visually awe-inspiring when the light hits it just right and lights up those transparent elements. It just looks fantastic. So what they decided to do was use some transparent red, as well as some transparent dark orange and transparent light yellow to give you that look of lava flow. And I think they did a great job on it because, again, when that light hits it just right, it shines through and just highlights those pieces. It is so good to look at. Next, taking a look at all the different elements that were used to create the base and the outside of Barad Dur is just impressive. All the angles that they were able to capture, everything to do with the pillars or the statues or just the overall texture of the walls, just kind of encapsulates the pure evil that is supposed to be behind the walls of Barad Dur. It is so gothic looking, and I think they captured that perfectly, that it's just hats off to the designers when it comes to that. Moving the base of this build to the left side, you can see part of the mechanism that is used to open and close the door. I know, I get it. When filming this part, I put a light back there and it just looks so cool and ominous that I just had to do it. Now, one of the things that you might be thinking is, how sturdy is this base? Like, can it hold the weight? Can it be moved around? And it's actually put together really well. Going through the build process, they made sure to interwoven, if that's even right, but interweave parts together so that it created a very sturdy base to hold the rest of the weight of the tower on top. Now, the other thing that I wanted to highlight is how you're going to be putting these pieces together, because like I said before, you can separate this build into 3 different pieces. What they decided to do here is make a flat surface with some guide rails that, when putting the next pieces on top of each other, just simply guides them together and snaps them in place. Very nice design here. Flipping the build around to the backside, we can go ahead and take a look at what is happening inside of the base of the Dark Tower. Starting off from the right, there is a small little cavern there that is supposed to represent the area that Gollum would chill at and munch on some fish. I like that they added that. Now, just above that is a small little Lego element that you can pull out that has a spider on it. And I'm wondering if this is supposed to represent Shelob, which is the spider that Golem took Sam and also Frodo to see if he could get them killed so he could get his precious back. So pretty cool shout out right there. Now, if we move slightly over to the left, you will see smithing orc number 1. There's a nice little area that is holding a bunch of lava because, again, lava is indeed flowing throughout the Dark Tower. And he is using that lava to heat up the ingots to create the armor and the swords that he is making for his fellow orc buddies. Now, right behind him, there's also some statues that have some armor that is put on there. So pretty cool little area to put some extra stuff in. Now, in the center of the build, we have Smithing Orc number 2. And Smithing Orc number 2 is sitting around a grinding stone, sharpening up a sword, and doing his due diligence to get some nice weapons ready for the orc army. Now, right behind him, again, is a nice little staging area for some extra armor and shields being prepared for the rest of his buds. Now, again, we have to go slightly over to the left, and unfortunately, Skelly is the person being tortured inside of the cage, sitting over that open lava pit. It's unfortunate, but, rip Skelly. Looking slightly above that area, you will see the door mechanism that is used to open and close the door so you can set up some cool, ominous shots like I am doing here. I really like that they added this play function, so you can just kind of have some fun. Hey, Sauron is coming home and checking out to see what his orc little dudes are doing and what they're preparing. So with all that information, it's now time to go on to the second piece. This thing is kind of like a cake. You have to put it together in layers. We're going to start talking about the next layer of the Dark Tower. Starting off with the outside of the midsection of Barad Dur, you can tell there that the Gothic theme went ahead and followed its way into this section as well. Now, I really enjoy the color changing effect that they use with the different Lego brick elements, and I'm wondering if this is supposed to represent some light that is coming from the base of the Dark Tower that is reflecting off of these areas here, which I think is just very cool and is a really nice highlight. Now, they used a bunch of different Lego elements on the outside of this to get some of the arches and the angles, as well as these two really small towers that are on the left and the right hand side. Now, again, this is very cool that they added this. The rock texturing that was on the bottom of the base continues up into the midsection as well as the middle of the tower, which we will take a look at that here in just a second. But I really enjoyed that they added this texturing because it just breaks everything up, because of course there is a lot of Lego black brick here, and it does kind of help to add some pops of color to these sections overall. But yeah, just a great texturing to the walls, and the overall look just fits perfectly. Flipping the build over to the backside, if you look at the lower left-hand corner, there is a small Lego element that you can pull out, which has a sticker showing some of the information of the rings that were created. So it's a nice little lore shout out to Lord of the Rings. Now, this area right here is basically the Orcs cafeteria. Over to the right-hand side, there's a big old cauldron cooking some soup up, as well as a massive table in the middle with a full Lego food spread. Over to the left-hand side is the keg with some drink, and somebody spilled some on the floor, so somebody needs to clean that up. Looking along the back wall, there's a food preparation area with some hanging ingredients as well as some extra food. And then looking to the right of that, they actually write down what's on the menu of the day with that piece of chalk and that board. I think that's just really funny. So since there was no information or lore what was happening inside of Barad Dur, they had to figure out ways to fill these areas, and they decided to make a eating area or a cafeteria for the orcs. I'm totally fine with that because it is a storytelling element. So yeah, nice choice by the designers. The final piece of the build is the top of the tower. Now, I'm having a real hard time trying to find the exact words to describe to you how fantastic this looks. Now, I'm hoping that the B-roll is going to help me to kind of describe to you visually what it is that I'm talking about. But how the designers were able to pull this off is it's just genius. This is top Lego right here. So using all the different Lego elements to pull off the angles, the texture, the points, just everything trying to encompass what this tower was supposed to represent was just beautifully done. Now, the amazing rock work that was in the base and also the midsection continues up until the top of the tower. So, them adding that rock work in there just gives it a pop of color and does a great job. Now, there are several locations in the tower where there's some orange pieces or orange Lego elements being used to then go ahead and represent kind of the fiery evil that lies within, but also maybe there's some orcs running around the tower as well. It's just done in such a way that I think there's just no other way they could have done this. There's no way that I could see myself saying they should have switched out this for that or done this better. It's just perfect. In my eyes, it is perfect. The Eye of Sauron. Just look at how good those transparent pieces form the Eye of Sauron. They just did such a great job with this. Now you can actually position the Eye of Sauron in different directions as if he's looking for the ring. Oh man, I love how they were able to put this together. Now to light up the Eye of Sauron, there is a light brick in the back that just has a simple switch you have to press and it projects this red light, then lighting up the Eye of Sauron. Now the only negative that I have for this is that I wish they would have had two. It doesn't really light up the Eye of Sauron completely, depending on how you angle it as well. So if they would have added two of these light sources, you would have been able to light up the entire eye. Now, maybe this is something you can mod later on. Maybe you can buy another light brick or maybe mod it later on down the road when somebody comes up with some kind of light kit. But overall, though, looking at this, I hate to use the word again, but it's perfect. It represents the Eye of Sauron in just a way that fits the lore, that fits the background, that fits Lord of the Rings just right. Flipping the top of the tower around to the backside and starting at the bottom, we see here what looks to be a great hall. Now there is a play function here. When pulling on this tab, it does open up the center, which reveals the plantar orb. Now this orb is what Sauron uses to spy on his enemies. Now, by the way, this is a new Lego piece. Now, right above that, this looks like Sauron's quarters. There is a bunch of spells and a bunch of books. And also, shout out to that Lego piece right there. That is the piece of armor that the elves gave to Frodo to help him, well, survive the journey. Pretty freaking cool. Now, right above that looks like a library where there is some movement to the ladder there to get to those books that are at the very top of the shelf. And also there is another little element piece that's stickered that kind of looks like it's numbered. So maybe it's talking about all the different rings and their meanings. So that's also pretty sweet. With that last piece right there, that brings us to the end of the review. There was so many elements and so many things to highlight and show off in this video. Man, I hope I did this build some justice. This was a difficult review to work on because there were so many moving parts and so many things that I had to make sure that I covered to give y'all all the information to hopefully either make your decision to purchase the set or to maybe potentially pass on it. Now, if I did do that, please do me a favor and go down there and hit this video with a like. It means a ton to me because I think I put at least 10 to 12 hours into this review. So that would I'd greatly, greatly appreciate it. Now, in the comment section below, let me know, did you actually buy this set and what did you think about the minifigs or the build? Or if you're thinking about buying this set, did I cover all the information that you wanted to know? Please do me a favor and let me know in that comment section below. Now, if you haven't subscribed to the channel and want to see more content like this, do yourself a favor, subscribe to the channel, and also hit that notification bell because it just notifies you that we have dropped some new content. But yeah, that's the end of the review. I'm going to put this bad boy in the books. I love this build. It's fantastic. I'll see you guys in the next one.